Johnny Depp and Emma's story, Last Hope. On the crowded streets of New York, a young girl named Emma sat on the cold sidewalk, holding a cardboard sign that read, "Help to heal you without fear." Her face displayed a mixture of emotions, pain, hope, and an underlying fear that she couldn't hide. Her eyes, filled with tears, seemed to silently plead for help, but no one stopped. People passed by, too busy or indifferent to acknowledge the desperation in her eyes. Her world was a blur of hurried footsteps and dismissive glances. Yet her heart beat with hope, praying that someone, anyone, might notice her, might offer a chance to save her mother who was gravely ill. Just as Emma's gaze met the cold steel of the street, a figure appeared before her. Dressed in a sharp, expensive suit, he exuded an air of authority and wealth. It was Johnny Depp, a successful business tycoon, known to the world for his riches and fame, yet burdened with a profound loneliness that not even his accomplishments could soothe. Johnny paused his phone conversation and glanced down at Emma. His eyes lingered on the cardboard sign she held before he finally spoke. "Why are you sitting here?" he asked, his voice soft, yet filled with curiosity. Emma hesitated for a moment, her voice trembling as she responded, "My mother is very sick. I need money for her treatment, but I don't have enough." Johnny listened, his heart stirred by the raw emotion in her voice. For a brief moment he believed her, and a wave of sympathy washed over him, but something deep inside him felt unsettled. Is she telling the truth? He wondered. Could there be more to this story than she's letting on? He looked into Emma's eyes, searching for any hint of deceit, but all he found was vulnerability. "I want to help you," Johnny said, his voice filled with genuine intent. However, when he asked, "Where is your home?" logically, Emma's demeanor changed instantly. Her eyes darted around, her hands trembling slightly. A sudden wave of fear seemed to wash over her. Johnny's instincts flared. "What's going on? Why are you so scared?" he thought. His gaze turned more intense, sensing that something wasn't quite right. Emma, trying to steady herself, looked up at Johnny with a strained smile. It's nothing," she whispered, avoiding his gaze. I'm afraid for my mom." Johnny could see the fear in her eyes, but there was something more, something deeper that she wasn't revealing. There was a strange, almost sinister tension in the air. "What are you hiding?" Johnny's mind raced as doubts began to creep in. Is she truly in need, or is there something else going on here? Despite his growing unease, Johnny felt compelled to help. He couldn't ignore the part of him that still believed in kindness and in doing the right thing. "Don't worry," he reassured her, though uncertainty gnawed at him. "I'll help you. I'll make sure your mother gets the treatment she needs." Emma's face softened slightly at his words, but there was still a lingering hesitancy in her eyes. "I trust you," she said quietly, but something in her voice didn't sit right with Johnny. "I'll need your address," Johnny said, a serious look overtaking his face. Reluctantly, Emma gave him the details of where she lived, but the moment she finished speaking, Johnny noticed a shadow of doubt cross her face. What is she really thinking? He wondered. He tried to push the thought away, but it lingered in his mind. Emma's behavior was increasingly suspicious. Why won't she look me in the eye? Why is she so nervous about sharing her home address? Johnny tried to reason with himself. He told himself he was doing the right thing, but deep down, he wasn't so sure anymore. Is this a trap? Am I walking into something I don't fully understand? The questions echoed in his mind, the weight of the decision pressing heavily on him. As Johnny sat in his car, heading towards the address Emma had given him, a sense of unease washed over him. What if this is all a lie? What if I'm being drawn into something darker? The questions seemed endless, and the darkness of uncertainty loomed larger with each passing moment. Finally, when Johnny reached the address Emma had provided, his heart pounded in his chest. His mind raced with a mix of anticipation and fear. Is this really what I think it is? Or am I just overthinking everything? He couldn't shake the feeling that there was something far more sinister at play. As he stood before the door, his hand hovering over the knocker, Johnny realized that this decision would change everything. This could be the moment that defined his future, or it could be the beginning of an even darker path. He knocked. The door creaked open, revealing Emma. She stepped aside, motioning for him to enter. Inside, the atmosphere was heavy, almost suffocating. Johnny felt the weight of every moment, every choice that had led him here. He glanced around, but there was no sign of Emma's mother. Just then, Emma spoke in a soft, almost eerie voice. "She's waiting for you upstairs," she said. Johnny's gut twisted. He climbed the stairs, each step echoing in the silence. At the top, he opened a door to find nothing. The room was empty, save for a small note on the floor. Johnny bent down and read the note, his heart sinking. "Thank you for helping us, Johnny. But the truth is, you were the one we needed all along." Before he could react, the door slammed shut behind him. Johnny spun around, realizing too late that he had been played. The note was a final twist. Emma, in her desperation, had been working with a group that wanted to use Johnny for their own gain. He had been the target all along. Emma's true role was revealed, not as the innocent girl she appeared to be, but as a pawn in a much larger, dangerous game. She wasn't trying to save her mother. She was using Johnny's resources to set him up for a bigger plot, one that had now left him trapped. As Johnny tried to find an escape, he heard footsteps behind him. Emma's voice echoed in the hallway. "It's too late, Johnny. You've helped us more than you'll ever know." The door clicked, locking behind him, and as the darkness closed in, Johnny realized that sometimes the road to help others leads straight to your own demise.